Hello Star Wars fans, and welcome to episode 61 of Journey into Legends. Today we are going to be reading I, Jedi by Michael Stackpole. I, Jedi was released in 1998, and as far as I know, is the first and only EU novel to entirely be written in the first person. I'm actually quite excited to read this book. I like Corran Horn, and apparently this one is a fan favorite, so without further ado, let's read and review. Alright, so the first half of this book is all about Corran joining Luke's academy in order to find his wife Mirax, who has disappeared. And this storyline was really cool because it retold events of Kevin J. Anderson's Jedi Academy trilogy from Corran's perspective. It was great seeing characters like Gan Taurus and Exar Kun again, but at some points, Stackpole's shoehorning of Corran into the events of that trilogy felt a bit awkward and unnatural. Especially because he made Corran so influential in investigating Exar Kun and taking him down. And Corran being so contrary to Luke throughout the book was a bit obnoxious, especially because it felt like some meta Kevin J. Anderson slander. And even though I wasn't the biggest fan of Anderson's trilogy in his writing, Stackpole treating this book as a way to right that trilogy's wrongs doesn't quite sit right with me. Especially because he didn't do a very good job of it. But anyways, I did have a lot of fun with this part of the book, regardless of what Stackpole's intentions were. Other than that, my other big issue with the first half of this book was that Corran's main motivation for becoming a Jedi was Mirax's kidnapping. I thought this book would have been a lot better if Corran joined the Academy because of his Jedi heritage, and Mirax's disappearance is why he leaves. Personally, spending months becoming a Jedi seems like a weird course of action to take when your wife is kidnapped. Alright, so this book kind of does a U-turn right in the middle, and it almost feels like a completely different book, like this could have been a duology. And honestly, I really like the way that this book was structured. Anyways, in the second half of this book, after leaving the Jedi Academy, Corran decides to infiltrate Leona Tavira's Invids, and quickly moves up the ranks. As someone who really likes undercover spy stories, this was a pretty entertaining one. Corran's dynamic with the other pilots, his flirtatious relationship with Tavira, him flying against Rogue Squadron at the Battle of Zafel, his haunting of the planet Kaurkrus as a mysterious, vengeful Jedi, the introduction of the Kamasi named Elajos, the mysterious Jensarai. This storyline was full of some really fun surprises. A few things I was disappointed by, however. First, the Jensarai were a bit underwhelming. I was hoping for more of a unique Force sect, but they just felt like your average, run-of-the-mill Dark Jedi to me. And secondly, Leona Tavira escaping at the end was a bit disappointing. I was hoping for a bit more finality with her, and I found her fate being a loose end a bit awkward. Alright, so despite the many issues I brought up, I actually did quite enjoy this book. I was surprised how much I enjoyed the first-person perspective, and this book definitely made me more of a Corran Horn fan. But I must admit, I do not understand the overwhelming amount of love this book gets. I mean, I've seen people call this their favorite Star Wars book of all time, and I just don't understand. It was a good book, above average, but it wasn't the greatest thing I've ever read. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for my next review where I'll be reading the Crimson Empire trilogy. See ya.